You can't go through it alone. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a few weeks since I've uploaded. If you couldn't gather from my last video, I'm going through a difficult time recently. I was recently broken up with by my boyfriend at the time, who was a wonderful partner. I don't want to get too much into it. I don't want to get too personal about the reasoning or anything. I wanted to keep that information private. But I can say it was a very respectful breakup, very healthy breakup, and a very healthy relationship. But it has been, I'd be lying to you if I said that getting over it was anything better than torture. I put a lot of myself into people. I put a lot of myself into everything because that is the kind of person I am. I give my 100% effort to everything that I pursue. I'm passionate, I'm dedicated, and I'm loyal. Now, that doesn't always mean, and most of the time, it doesn't mean that people will give that same effort. But as someone who suffers with a few different mental health problems, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to tell you the things that I've been doing that have been hindering my progress and preventing me from getting better so that you don't do them. I want you to get over your heartbreak in the most healthy, reasonable way possible. And I don't know, I kind of just want to talk to you. I want to be vulnerable with you. I want to be honest. And I just want to tell you that whatever you're going through, you don't need to do it alone, and you shouldn't be doing it alone. At first, I kind of thought I was kind of embarrassed to ask for help in the beginning. I told everyone, and I definitely got support. I will say I'm very grateful for the support system that I have, my friends and family and therapy, but at first I told everyone, but I didn't ask for help. I didn't tell anybody what I really needed when they asked me what I needed. And I wasn't honest when they asked me if I was okay, because I was afraid to accept it. You know, when anything difficult is happening, I think one of the hardest parts in the very beginning is accepting what's really happening. I was always the kind of person, and I'm getting this vibe from whoever's watching this right now, I was always the person that people went to for advice. I was never the person that asked for help. I was the person that people consulted for their problems when they needed something. So I felt that if I asked for help, that would make me weak. And for some reason, that would make my advice null and void, because my advice wasn't good enough for me to use. So why would my advice be good enough for anybody else? And I built this image in my head that no one would want to come to me for advice anymore just because I needed someone and I wanted to rely on someone. I was really afraid of looking weak. I was afraid of seeming like I didn't have the head on my shoulders that I thought I did. And so while I vented a little bit here and there, I never really honestly explained what was going on in my head and the depth of despair that I was feeling. It's hard to be vulnerable and be honest when you're going through something difficult. And I want you to understand that there's nothing wrong with that difficulty. It's okay for things to be difficult, and just because things are difficult doesn't mean they're the wrong decision. Sometimes the best things that happen to us are very difficult in the beginning. And I will say, I'm not sure if you're religious, if you're spiritual, I have had a lot of struggles with my faith since this incident happened, and a lot of questions, a lot of why is this happening to me? Why are you doing this? You know, talking to God. Why are you taking this person away from me? I thought this person was the love of my life. I thought this was it for me. I really did. And so if everything was so amazing and so beautiful, why does it get taken away from you? That's the question you find yourself asking. If you are content with where things are at, why do things get taken away from us? And I think the realization that I've come to is that obviously God, or whoever you may believe in, always has a plan that's bigger than our plan that we have for ourselves. Now, I know that sounds so stupid, especially in the really early stages of whatever you're going through. It sounds like, oh my God, that faith bullcrap, but it really is true. And this analogy that I've found recently was it was a single rose, like a picture of a single rose. And on the bottom it said my plan. And then on the other side, it was a bouquet of roses. And then it said God's plan. The plan that you have for yourself is great, okay? Maybe it's not so great, but the plan that God has for you is a million times more beautiful than you can ever imagine. And I bet you can look back on some memories right now where you thought you knew what was best for you. And now, as things have changed and God has taken his path, you've realized, oh my goodness, like that, I'm so glad it didn't pan out the way that I thought that I wanted it, because look at how much better it got. Faith is a really hard thing. And I don't want to turn this video into like a whole discussion about faith. I myself am Wiccan. So I believe in Mother Nature and the universe, and everything happens for a reason. But I had a lot of moments where sometimes I have moments where I'm pleading. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Pleading on my knees, begging, asking into the void, shouting into the void. Why is this happening to me? What are you trying to teach me? What lesson can I be taking away from this loss? What do I need to learn? Now, at first, I think the universe let me sit in silence and let me be angry with her and let me be frustrated and devastated and just cry and get my emotions out. But as the days, and now a few weeks, as they've gone on, and I've gone into that quiet space of meditation and prayer again, I've realized some new things and I've gotten some answers. I really believe that I can feel, that universe's language speaking to me a little bit. And it's clear as day. And it's saying things like, you deserve better. There is something better out there for you. Trust me. You need to focus on yourself. Because I thought, I think when, specifically when relationships come up, we think like, okay, I've healed enough, like I'm ready to go, I'm ready to do this. Even if the person comes into your life when you least expect it, okay, I'm ready to do this. And I went into this relationship thinking, okay, I'm ready to do this, because I actively, was seeking a relationship at that point. Because I was like, I've been single for 3 years, I think I'm ready to do this. I still had my doubts about my own things, but I went into the relationship and I felt I did a fantastic job as a partner. And I still believe that right now. I believe that more so than ever. Of course, there are things that I wish I did differently, but healing, you will never, you could heal to maximum capacity, which, first of all, I don't even believe is possible. I believe that we're always a work in progress as human beings, and there is no way to heal to max capacity, but I thought I healed to a stable enough point that, I would be a fantastic partner, and I was, but that didn't mean that I didn't make mistakes. But the point I'm trying to make here is that even if you are the most loyal, incredible person on the planet, that cannot control someone else's behavior, okay? That cannot prevent someone from treating you the way that they want to treat you, regardless of how you act. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be held accountable for your actions when you screw up or when you do something right, but that will not prevent someone from seeing past their own wounds and their own struggles to respect you and to love you and to cherish you. Everyone has their own things going on. And one of the biggest things, I thought, okay, I'm healed now. There are wounds, there is trauma that either resurfaces or is created in relationships in ways that can never be brought up in any other kind of relationship we have, whether it's friendship or with family. There are certain wounds, certain struggles, certain desires, certain insecurities that lie behind the door of a romantic relationship and cannot be approached or learned or understood until you are in a romantic relationship with someone. And just like there are some relationship issues that happen between a boyfriend and a girlfriend, that there are some issues that happen with a married couple that a boyfriend and girlfriend could never understand. You know what I mean? There are different stages, different relationships, different issues for each stage of your life. There are issues in a talking stage that there are issues in a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship that a talking stage wouldn't understand. So I think there's levels to things, and I think it's so important to understand that there are issues that might come up that you thought that you had no idea could ever be a problem because you never experienced this kind of relationship before. My entire life, all I've ever experienced is toxic romantic relationships up until I met this person. my past relationships were extremely toxic, so those presented their own issues. So, for the last 3 years in therapy, I've been working on the issues that those toxic relationships presented, right? Now I enter this new relationship with this new person who was an incredible communicator, incredibly kind to me, listened to me when I spoke, never made me feel insecure or anything like that, and was very good to me. And you think, okay, great, I'm in a healthy relationship, there's going to be no problems now. That is not true. There are different issues that come up within yourself and with the other person when you're in a healthy relationship, because my body, my nervous system, my brain had no idea how to deal with a healthy relationship, a healthy romantic relationship, because it never experienced that before. So I started encountering insecurities in my own mind of, wow, okay, this person's really good to me. Now I have this fear of abandonment, and I didn't have that before. And now it's like, okay, how do I cope with this? And when I say issues, I don't mean like direct arguments with the partner. I mean, issues in yourself too, conflicts and overthinking within yourself. And I think the universe is trying to tell me, and maybe the universe is trying to tell you, whatever you're going through, that you cannot abandon yourself. And I said this in my last video, not my last video, 2 videos ago, I talked about how you can't lose yourself in pursuit of others. And when I made that video, I was still in the relationship, so I was struggling with, becoming a little bit obsessed, and I was struggling with a lot of limerence of only thinking about our relationship and not focusing on myself. I have had to learn, and I know a lot of overthinkers, a lot of romantics can relate to this, you kind of let go of yourself a little bit, not in like a negative way, but just kind of, you really don't focus on the other things in your life, or you don't make them as much a priority when you have a new partner, because it's so exciting and it's so romantic and it's so different than everything you ever felt, especially if the person that you're with is like on paper everything that you want, if that makes sense. Because that's what happened in my relationship. On paper, physically, emotionally, spiritually, he was everything that I wanted. And I was so excited that I kind of went into it with this feeling of, okay, I need to hold on really, really tight and prove that I am a great partner and I'm a great person to be with. And I think of it as kind of like squeezing a water bottle. But by holding on to it so tight, I'm squeezing, trying to make sure I'm doing everything right, that the water bottle pops. And I'm burnt out. And the other person is overwhelmed. And I've just learned that you really cannot abandon yourself. I started to realize this about midway into the relationship, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to back off a little bit. I'm going to focus on hanging out with my friends a little bit more. I'm going to focus on spending time with my family. I'm going to, think more about my job and try to do my hobbies instead of sitting, waiting for a text back or whatever it was. And that's one of the most important things I want to tell you. If you're sitting, thinking, I'm not saying you can't daydream, okay? There's balance. You can enjoy the moment, be present, get giddy over a text that they send you, or tell your friends about them and get excited about it and, enjoy those things and daydream about the future and things like that. But you also need to focus on yourself and remember that there is so much of you before this person was in your life, and there will be so much of you during this relationship and so much after. But you need to prioritize yourself, because the minute that you kind of show the universe that you think this person is like the most important thing to ever happen to you, and now it's like all of a sudden, oh, well, I won't go to that concert I was going to go to with my friend. It's just not as important. I want to spend time with so-and-so. The universe is like, okay, you're forgetting that you are whole and complete by yourself. This person is just a wonderful, beautiful addition to your life and an experience that you're having as well. You need to remember that you are the center of your own life. And I'm not saying be a selfish person. You can still give cute gifts to your partner and be a dedicated and loyal partner and emotionally attentive and show up physically for your partner as well, and still prioritize yourself. And I think that's a common misconception that people get wrong, is they think, okay, but if I'm prioritizing myself in a relationship, that means I abandon my partner a little bit. And that's just not the case. A healthy relationship is you should be living your own life, trying to build your future career, your future in general, whatever it is, working on your goals, and then you two, this person, you come together as a unit and you celebrate life together and you share a beautiful romantic experience together, okay? Now, I really didn't want to go off on a tangent here about relationships specifically, but I'm feeling called to talk about this for some reason. It's probably because I know I'm going through this, and I want to share my revelations through my healing process, because I have gone through every emotion known to man in these last few weeks, and yet, even though it has ended, I did cry earlier today, but I will say, even though it has ended, I don't want to say I feel good about it, but I feel confident in the path that the universe has chosen for me, whatever it may be, even if I can't see that path, because of the way that it has worked out for me in the past. Just like, there are talking stages in the past that I wish worked out, that looking back, I am so glad they never worked out. And how could I be upset with the universe knowing that if this person, whoever they may, if this person I was with wasn't the one for me, then hey, that means I'm just one partner closer to my dream partner, to my forever person. So sure, I can be upset that it didn't work out and it sucks, and I'm very grateful for the experiences that this person and I shared together, but this just means that whatever is coming is going to be even better. And who knows, maybe my next relationship won't be as good. But then if it's not forever, then it's a lesson. So if it's not meant to be forever, then that just means I'm going to learn an even more valuable, beautiful lesson that will bring me even closer. So in my opinion, it's a win. Like, a win is a win. Like, either way the situation plays out, it's for your greatest good. It is for your personal benefit in your path in life. Even if you don't believe that there's a higher power directing that. Maybe you were the one that chose to end things, and it may really suck, and you may be second guessing your decision, but there are other things coming. There are other experiences. Trusting your gut and respecting yourself is more important than anything. And I promise you, I look like I'm doing really great right now because I'm smiling and I'm talking to you, but what you're not seeing off camera is the nightmares I've been having every single night, where I dream that this partner comes back to me in some kind of tragic way, or some tragic event has led them back to me, and they're apologizing and telling me they love me and all these things. Like, you aren't seeing that. You aren't seeing the hours I've spent crying in my mother's arms, the paragraphs and paragraphs I've texted my friends, the 4 therapy appointments that I've had, basically squeezing tissues in my hand and asking, why is this happening? What did I do wrong? Like, you're not seeing that. You're seeing what I'm showing you on camera right now. So I don't want you to think I'm perfect and I'm healing. I love how the universe is like giving me a little hug right now. I love when the wind blows. I always think that that's Mother Nature just giving me like a pat on the shoulder, like, I'm here and I hear you and I see you. But anyway, there's a lot of pain here. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of sadness. And there's a lot of gratitude. And when I feel myself starting to be emotional, I sit with it. I sit with it in my body. And I let myself cry. And I let myself be devastated. And I let myself listen to sad, cheesy love songs, okay? And I look through photos. Sure, I've gotten better at not doing that, but I write about it. I have written so much. I have a note in my notes app just that, titled unsent, for all these things I wanted to say to this person that I know that I can't, because obviously it's no contact. It's just what's best. It's the healthiest thing. And so much in my journal, so many letters I wrote on pieces of paper to them directly that I'll never send, just to get my emotions out. And I'm telling you, you don't have to do this alone. That's the point of what I'm telling you today. You don't have to do this alone, okay? Hurt. It frickin' sucks, but you need to hurt. You need to feel it. You need to feel all of it. Every, frustration, every regret, everything you're grateful for. Look for the bright side of what you did get to experience. And just because it ended doesn't mean it wasn't a positive experience. Some people that go to college have an incredible experience, and it's some of the best years of their life. And when it's over, they're sad. But being sad doesn't directly mean that it's a bad thing. It's an expression of your feelings. And my God, let me hold your hand when I say this. You are allowed to feel. And just because you're feeling a lot all at once doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. You're allowed to have complex feelings about this situation, whatever you're going through. You're allowed to be angry for one reason and miss someone for another reason. and be grateful for them, and also be sad, also feel betrayed. Feelings as a human being are complex, but that is what's so beautiful about life, is that everything is nuanced and connected and just so beautiful. And honestly, through this whole thing, I just have this renewed sense of gratitude for the world and for the way that everything works, and how my highs in my life wouldn't feel as incredible as they were if I didn't experience the plunging lows of my life. I never would have started this YouTube channel if I didn't suffer in one way or another, because if I didn't suffer, I would never have a message to give to the world. And if I was never happy, or I was always happy, the emotion wouldn't be special, you know? Like, I would never create art because, like, out of happiness if I always experienced it, because it would feel like every day to me. But it is the lows that make you appreciate the highs of your life so much more. There is so much beauty in this world that it's kind of hard to stay mad at the world for a while, for me at least. I just think about all the beautiful things that I have been lucky enough to experience, and the fact that, sure, maybe this relationship didn't end the way I wanted it to, but I can tell you it could have ended a lot worse, and I'm grateful that I got to experience this person in this way at all. I really put myself out there for this relationship. I really am proud of myself for the progress I made as a person with this person. The amount of corrective healing experiences that we share together, and the amount of things that I overcame, and the immense amount of growth I noticed I have made through experiencing that romantic relationship showed me that what I want is possible, and it also showed me that what I deserve is out there. Because I think if you're a lover girl like me in this modern generation of nonchalance and ghosting and dating apps and hookup culture, there are periods of time where you truly believe you will never find a love like what you read about in books, genuinely. You really start to believe that it's just not out there. It's not for you. It's not even real, and that if you see it, it's fake, or maybe you're just not deserving of it. But I can tell you that through, maybe it wasn't meant to be, and the universe looked at me and said, you know what, Bella, you've worked really hard recently. Even if it doesn't pan out the way you want it to, you can still learn a lot from this, and it can still be a beautiful experience, so let me show you that. And that's what this was. That's the mindset that I'm approaching this breakup with. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's not the mindset that I approached this with in the beginning, but this is a few weeks into the healing process. And who knows, I'll probably have another nightmare tonight, I'll probably cry again tomorrow, but it's stages. And progress isn't linear. As much as I hate to say that, progress is not linear. It's not linear, girl. It really isn't. It is so up and down, and I promise you that the world has such an incredible plan for you that all I can try to tell you is be present. Even when it hurts really bad, be present. Remember what you love about yourself. Write a list of all the things you can possibly think of that you love about yourself, even if it's just one. Because I remember, I understand now, in a way that I've never really understood before, that your relationships are beautiful because you make them beautiful, not just because of the other person. It's not an amazing experience purely because the other person is some god. It's because of you too, and you need to stand the hell up and give yourself some credit for the way that your relationships are, because relationships are a two-way street. I don't care if it's a friendship, a relationship with family, whoever it is. Relationships are a two-way street, and your effort, your dedication, your kindness, your patience is just as much a part of that relationship's success. Don't romanticize the person, okay? The memories that happen after you split up with someone are genuinely just your brain trying to pick out everything, all the best things, and you kind of forget the negative things that you experienced, because your brain wants to turn it into a you problem. even if it may not be. Your brain wants it to be your fault, because then if it's your fault, then you can fix it. And then if you can fix it, you can prevent this kind of hurt from ever happening to you again. And unfortunately, that is not the case. You can be the best partner, the most loyal partner, the most beautiful, physically beautiful person in the world, and still not prevent someone from cheating on you, from lying to you, from breaking your heart, from betraying you. Because it's not all about you. It's about the other person. So while it is a beautiful thing to know that, okay, wow, relationships are a two-way street and they're about, multiple people at once, it's also a sucky thing to accept. Because I am someone who suffers a lot with shame and self-blame, and I've always believed like everything is my fault, no matter what the situation is. Like, if someone's mad, like, I'll be at work, and if someone's like slamming cups or like angry, I immediately assume it's 100% my fault, instead of assuming, oh, this person's having a bad day. So remember that so much more of people's emotions are about themselves than they are about you, and so much of life is projection as well. If someone treats you a certain way, a lot of times it's projection about how they feel about themselves. I can tell you that the way I act when I'm angry doesn't reflect how I feel about the people that my anger is being projected onto. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try to improve that and you shouldn't be held accountable for your actions. Again, of course you should be. But I promise you, so much more of it is projection than you think. And you can love someone with everything that you have, but you can't make them love you back. You can't make them love you back. You can't make them a good person. You can't make them fix their inner issues. You can't make someone move on from something in their past. You cannot do anything that someone doesn't want to do themselves. Just like that old saying of, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can't. All you can do is work on focus on yourself, elevate yourself. And I don't mean elevate yourself for the benefit of a partner in the future. I mean elevate yourself so that you can go to bed at night knowing you gave absolutely everything and you did everything you absolutely could to make it work. Because then after that, it's out of your hands. It is. It can be really exhausting to be a good person, to be a loyal person. It can be exhausting to be authentic. Being authentic is an extremely lonely path that I've walked down my entire life. Not to say I've never made a mistake, of course that's not true, but to choose the path of righteousness, whatever you define that as, I don't mean that in a religious aspect, is to choose a lonely path. You are not going to get the things that you think you want most of the time. You are going to be made to wait, to heal, to focus on what's important, and if you're one of those people that is just self-aware and understands the ways of the world, it's going to be a difficult life, but the highs and the amazing experiences you do get to experience are going to be so unbelievably beautiful. I can't even begin to explain them to you. But I want you to understand what you're feeling, whatever you're going through, is valid. And you don't have to do it alone. Maybe you don't have anyone in your life that can support you. But if you do, if you have friends, maybe even coworkers you're close with, family members, a therapist, reach out, talk to people, go on Reddit and, go on the relationship subreddits or whatever it is you're struggling with and get answers. There are millions of people out there who are suffering from an insane loneliness epidemic that need just as much advice as you. Go there, find your community, watch media, learn from experts online. Be careful though, don't fall for any courses or scams or whatever. But if you don't have someone, maybe it's just videos, maybe it's content, maybe it's videos like mine that are helping you get through this. But just, because you are here, I want to say thank you for being here. Please keep fighting for yourself, keep fighting for me, keep fighting for all the people in your life. I love you. I'm so proud of you. You're going to look back on this video one day and see, wow, my life has gotten so much better, and I'm so glad that I trusted the world. I'm so glad I trusted my path. I'm so glad I trusted God, whatever it is. I am so excited to see where your life leads you. I'm so excited to see where your life leads you. I promise you it gets better from here. It may get worse before it gets better, but allow it. Allow it to happen. Flow with it. Go with it, even if it's hard. Process. Feel everything. Do things you love. Eat foods you love. Talk to people. Journal. Express your feelings, make music, make art, express yourself. Do not keep it in here. Heal from it, because better is coming. And when better does come, you want to be healed and ready to give it everything you've got. There is a quote I saw the other day I want to end this video with. I don't remember what it was. Let me find it. This is a quote from Maya Angelou. Have enough courage to trust love one more time, and always one more time. Thank you so much for watching today. I wish you the most in-depth, speedy healing that the universe can possibly deliver, and I love you. Keep being strong, and keep fighting, and remember, you are an incredibly unique being who's contributing so much to the world and has so much more to contribute to the world. So, I'm not asking for a year, I'm not asking for a month or a week, I'm asking you, can you just give me one more day? Thanks for watching.